What's up guys, Kevin with On Point Pro Styles Window Tinting in Gainesville, Georgia. I wanted to do a video, I don't think I've made one of these before, about shrinking the back glass on an SUV. Not harder, I would think, than doing it on a car, but it is obviously shaped different, and the attack to it is just a little bit different, mainly because the corners are really, or the sides are really round, and you gotta be real careful, the film on the side not shrinking to the side. So let me grab the heat gun, kind of talk through it and get going. So heat gun on hot. This does have a spoiler over the top, so I cut the film really close on the bottom so I can move it down just a little bit and not have it so far up into the top. And we do our standard, what you'd call H pattern, as you normally would on a car. If you haven't watched my shrinking video explain something like that, then go watch that to really kind of familiarize yourself with some of the verbiage I'm using and to see the difference between the two. But same thing, we're gonna make sure that our sides, because they're curved, you want to press those down really well and then just do your normal sort of shrink. You can go all the way across, back and forth on an SUV, doesn't hurt anything, which sometimes I'll do, but on this one, we'll just do it quarter by quarter. So you can see the side fingers popping out. So that's what I mean by kind of taking extra care to make sure those sides are down, because they still can't be shrunk. So a little bit different of attack, but not really bad at all. The confusing part is this is a sideways finger, but people screw up because that looks down because it's in the curve, but in fact it's actually to the side. So that's where it can be confusing on a vehicle like this. That's actually up and down and shrinkable, which the other way it was not. So we'll shrink that out, come over here. I'm gonna actually sweep this down because I kind of leave the middle till last. There we go. So we'll move to the other side. We'll do the same thing. Shrink as normal. Come back, sort of like a typewriter. Notice I'm keeping this side pushed in because it'll keep pushing up or popping up as you shrink. Obviously don't try to go fast like I'm doing. I'm just demonstrating the difference in this window in a car. So shrink at your own pace. It's not a race. Nobody's here timing you, and if they are, shame on them. Kind of tighten up the middle last. We've got all that, whoops, we got all that down. Move straight to the top. Now we want to be careful because all this plastic up here is going to bounce the heat back down onto the film. So number one, it could shrink faster, and two, you could burn the top, so be careful. So we'll do the same thing, kind of go halfway, push it to the top, watch these side fingers that like to pop up. Keep sweeping them to the top and then just work that corner and you'll see a smiley that kind of goes like that. Now I'm way to the side because it's dark in here. So if I get to the side of the vehicle, I can see the top. So I'm gonna just run some air and drop all that down on the top. Not impossible, but you want to be careful. Looks good. We'll do the other side. Same thing, keeping our side down and kind of sweeping in as we're shrinking. You see the smileys pulling in. So you don't have to shrink all the way to the side. Just keep bumping that and just shrink to here and it'll automatically pull it down. Just press that up and out. Still got one, see? A little bitty one wanting to poke up. Doesn't look like much, but it could be a problem inside. So I'm just gonna kind of over push it to shrink that flat. And there we go. Same thing, you're gonna come across the top, being careful of the plastic up top. Look to the side, get a good view. Could also put you a light in here or something like that, however you wanna do it, but I'm pretty comfortable just looking. So now I'm gonna double shrink the bottom. So what that means, because if you know me, I'm a double shrinker. So I'm gonna pop it up, sweep it down on both sides, tighten up that bottom edge. Nice and tight, don't want no fingers. Now I can't necessarily do this on the top. I'm gonna do that on the peel board and I'll show you that in a minute. Same thing, gently just pop it up, sweep it down, and then tighten up that loose film. All right, we'll take it to the peel board. We'll snap the top a little bit more, tighten it up, and we'll get it ready to install. All right, so we double shrank the bottom. So I want to put a little bit more of a snap on the top. So I'm just going to kind of slam the top down here. And I'm just gonna shrink the corners just a little bit more. So I'm gonna just push my little hard card under here, create me a little pocket, and I'm gonna tighten that film up. Just an extra little pocket to make sure that when I put it in the car, I feel confident enough that I'm not, hopefully not gonna fight fingers on the inside, which is the whole point of this. If you do this, you gotta make sure this stays flat if you're gonna add heat to it. Otherwise you're shrinking to the side. So that is ready. So installing the film, same thing. We're gonna clean the glass. This was a question that I had from a student from one of my classes. How do I go about doing these? Because it's different than a car. Clay bar, fantastic for the defroster lines. Wipe around the plastics. Squeeze it. One more squeegee. Same thing, these plastics kind of lean in the glass a little bit, so you gotta be careful putting the film in. Another reason why I try to wipe and clean these off, in case the film touches it. Same thing, we don't wanna spray plastic in case there's any contaminants right here. We don't wanna spray them on the glass, so be mindful of your spray. And I'm gonna spray as I walk to spray the air down. Full peel on the pattern. We're gonna get it right here on the bottom, just the outer parts where it would overlap. Quick walk back to the vehicle. And I'm gonna start putting the middle part in first, sort of working it to the glass. The sides are curling in, so it helps me get it beyond the plastic, looking to line up what's on the top side of me, but it's actually the bottom of the glass. And then start putting this down to the glass and line it up. Sides up a little high, there we go. Just like anything else, push out the big bubbles, make sure it's lined up, no light gaps. Kind of start from the middle out. And then when I get to the corner, I like to stop short and then sweep it in so I don't push a side finger in. Same thing here, all the way to the side. Sweep this, all the way to the top, stop short. And then down here, one swipe to the side, one swipe to the side, and then I sort of sweep it and down, which is technically up, it's the top of the door. One final squeegee. This one I just take side to side. And the last thing we'll do is take our towel and buff our edges. Soak up any water that might be in there. Wipe down our plastics. And the window. So there you go, that's pretty much the point of this video. Say that's a clean install, that's my way of doing it each and every time. I get fantastic results, and as you can see, it's really fast, really easy, and you don't fight it so much. But that's my process. The shrinking part, watch the sides, get it from the glass or wherever you're going from. A lot of people put it long ways on the side of the car, and that's how they'll load it. So however you want to do it, but just know that you're gonna be over your head and be mindful of the plastic. So that's it for this one. Thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one.